Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton, the son, Mr. Booger, they all here with another episode of Funky Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, I promise, I really do promise, to give good content for the masses. And I just promise to keep it funky. Don't believe me? Just watch. Y'all see what I did with that? Hey, listen, my next guest really doesn't need an introduction, but for the sake of time, you know what I'm saying? Woo. Now that one missed. The first one hit though. So he's a rapper, songwriter, music video director, actor, fashion icon, trendsetter. I presented something and introduced to others. My dog, player partner, Trinidad James.
What's up, man? Come on.
Now with the one that, like that's what I'm stuck. Like, did you really pop a Molly?
Yes, sir. You know, I could only speak from the experiences I've had. Everything I've ever said, whether hit or not hit, is still something that I went through. So, yes, the Molly was popped.
Let's start with that, because I'm like, as it was rapping, it was like, pop the Molly, I'm sweat. Woo! Pop the Molly, I'm sweat.
Woo! We tried to do that one too on the second.
Take me through that experience where it's like, bro, this was so impactful, I got to put it in a rap.
So, boom, we're in 2012. I get into the music world the end of 2011. And my experience coming into 2012, after 2011, I was in a group with some other friends, and we was doing a talent show, and we won the talent show off of a song where we weren't an official group, but it's like off all your homeboys get together.
Yeah.
We did a song. So he do a verse, he do a verse, he do a verse. It's 5 of us on the song. People like the song. That was one of my first songs I had ever wrote a verse to. So I'm brand new into it. But we enter into this competition, like a showcase. We win the showcase against this rap group called the Yellow Tape Gang. That kind of like gets a battery and everybody back of like, okay, we in the rap world. 2012 roll around. Long story short, by the time Super Bowl came around, I realized that I'm not good at working in groups when it comes to starting something. I like to kind of be the leader, start it, and then bring team. Mm-hmm. And so I ventured off. You know, I told my guys, I was like, I can't do this with y'all. And I started to do my own thing. I got locked up for some stuff with my ex. And then when I got out of there, I was like, certain things are not adding up right now. I'm fly, I'm all these things, but it's like, even back then, me realizing that like being fly might not be enough in the future. What more can I do? What do I want to do? I want to own my own store. I was working in the clothing store before I did music. It's right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Right on top of the Underground was a store called Ginza Boutique. So boom, that, to give you an idea, this is Hipster Atlanta. This is like when the word hipster started coming around Atlanta too, where you had groups like Hollyweird, and you had R.P. to Corey Davis. He's an amazing tattoo artist and painter that just passed away. He was a part of that. Tukey Carter, Dreamer, Grip Pliers, he passed away too, R.P. In the midst of course, T.I., Jeezy, 2 Chainz, all these things. And then you had certain clubs where it's like you didn't have to go to the Magic City type clubs. You had other type of events like Broken Bougie, and you know, shout out to my boy Meshach. And then they had this place called The Quad. The Quad was for whites, but blacks who was like, I want my black boy, white boy shit. Mm-hmm. And in that world, in that ecosystem, I was introduced to Molly. And the guy who introduced it to me was the guy who had good weed back then. So like you just trusted him. And so, you know, we tried it. And the first time I was like, this don't do nothing for me, I'm straight. And then he was like, no, you gotta try it again, maybe try a little more. Whatever, so I tried a little more. And then I tried a little more, I was like, oh man, I'm up for 3 days. Whew. Crazy, right? So I remember that experience because I couldn't go to sleep. So that's why I remember it. I remember being in the club and like sweating so much till you stop sweating. It's like, but I'm still partying or whatever because the sweat done dried off. I got white on my neck. I got white on my arms, you know, that type of sweat. And I just remember the experience. So months later when I'm doing music and I'm working on my first project, like I said, I only know how to write what I go through. I don't fantasize or whatever like that much. I kind of like, I fantasize and then execute. I don't like talk or rap about things that I fantasize. And so, especially then, because I was still learning. And that was me just putting that in there, bro, of like, I remember this experience because I wrote half of the song at work and then the other half at the studio. And you don't get to the Pop the Molly part till you get to the studio. The engineer is a white boy, however. So he made me think of the quad because it's like, oh, that's where I had my black-white experience in Atlanta. I went to school in South Carolina, too. I played ball in South Carolina. So I was already used to growing up around white people. But in Atlanta, it's different because I went to all-black high school, played ball here in Atlanta. And then I went to all-white high school and played ball in Carolina, like, both years, like every year. Like, I switched schools, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And so when getting around him, the way that my mind work is I use the people in the room to pull from, or like when I look at you, my mind goes to like, how does this relate, or how does this person, glasses, hat, shoes, socks, anything, the font of your shirt, what does it trigger for me when I'm looking for something? If I'm in flow state, I don't need any inspiration. I got it. But when I run out of words, I'm running out of words and things like that, I always pull from the room. And I feel like just being around him, and he was trippy kind of guy, the engineer. I was like, ooh, I remember something I left out here. Whatever. So if you look at me, you just rapping, and then I just go to the party part after. If you look at All Go Everything, it starts off as like, okay, this is an anthem for real niggas. And then it turns into like, oh man, this is like shouting out the strip club. And then it's, you know what I'm saying? It's shouting out the HBCUs. It's like, it was really my perspective, because also I'm an immigrant. I'm not born in America. I'm born in Trinidad, hence the name Trinidad James. So for me, All Go Everything is, oh man, the streets. What does the streets of Atlanta look like from my lens? And that was it. That was everything that was going on in my life at the time.
Wow. Mama, we got a talker. Boy. All right. I just wanted to know about the Molly, bro. You took me to South Carolina, back to South Carolina. I appreciate just everything. And you pretty much took up the whole introduction of things that I even really wanted to know. But even more specifically, Trinidad, where have you been, bro? Like, there's been you thrusted onto the scene during a time where it's like, yo, what is this? Who is this? Is this a real person? This is a character. Like, he looks like somebody out of a Marvel book. Like, and then a few years later, here you still are, you know? So let's talk about that of where did you go? Where you been at? Mentally, spiritually, physically, all the above.
I would tell you that the first 3 years was establishing Trinidad James. Like, the success of Trinidad James, because I started out with success. You know, not too long after from when I put out my first project, Don't Be Safe, I Gotta Get You a Vinyl. You know, I had success, I feel like the same year, like about 2012 Christmas, I'm lit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 2013, I'm signed to Def Jam. Like, that whole summer, I got it on Smash. Coming around into 2014, everybody knows who the heck Trinidad James is. Right. So that's the, first 3 years down. 2015, I go to Los Angeles because I hit the ceiling in Atlanta and I felt uninspired. I went through bad depression for the first time. I'd never been depressed till I got into music and entertainment business. I'm an athlete first, so like confidence is how you be a better athlete. Obviously God-given talent, but if you're not confident, God-given talent gets cheated because you're not standing up to what God gave you. Right. And so, boom, confidence was my first time my confidence was affected was entertainment business. So I had to recalibrate from that. And what I realized I needed to do was get out of Atlanta because I did everything here. obviously started the success here and all those good things. And then so I go to LA and I just revamp spiritually, mentally of like, okay, what's my purpose here? Because I see what people want from my success. But what do I want my success to actually look like? And so I just started doing all the things that I think mattered to me, which was I did charities with Crenshaw High School. Nipsey played in my charity games, rest his soul, at Crenshaw High, where we did like a celebrities versus alum. And we got people to donate sneakers to get into the game, and we ended up giving those sneakers to this nonprofit called, this black-owned nonprofit called Love My Neighbor. We raised like 1,000 pairs of shoes. We did it like twice. So then I got into philanthropy.
You did it like twice.
Yeah, I got into philanthropy. I dropped my first book. I dropped a book with a coffee table book with my project, which was No One Is Safe at the time. Don't Be Safe was my first project. And in 2015, I dropped No One Is Safe. And I dropped a book with it, a coffee table book. So boom, kind of pushing that, driving out from LA to San Francisco to do art shows and stuff like that, because I collected tons of fan art because everybody just loved what I brought to the game. And so boom, 2015 to 2018 in LA, just using it as one big playground to accomplish all the things that I felt like I wasn't doing in Atlanta.
Right.
And then that allowed me to catch another hit on the West Coast with Lil Dicky and Mystical, called Just a Little Thick, a little anthem for our healthy sisters. And then from there, I was like, man, I love the West Coast because they love me. I went through a little issue too where, I being outspoken, that's when I learned that depression came from like New York turning its back on me based on like words that I said out of my mouth. And it wasn't about what I said, it was who was saying it and how I said it. So that lesson is also what turned into depression. But I appreciated it because it allowed me to understand that, my mental is way stronger than my physical. Your mental is everything. I felt like because I've been a solid individual for so long, I took my mental for granted. And the entertainment business, you cannot take your mental for granted. You cannot, or whatever, because this thing is made to chew you alive so that you can stay like delusional, whatever type of situation. Don't get me wrong, a little bit of delusion is good for your confidence, but full delusion is a really bad place to be in. And so I say that to say taking it back to LA, taking advantage of everything I need to do. So, music is going, catch another hit. I started writing music for people. That was the first time I got a chance to do that. I had never done that prior. And then that led to me now coming into, I moved to now go to Miami. However, because I hit the ceiling in LA. At least to me, I did. I accomplished everything I put on my list to do. Checked it off, checked it off, checked it off. And then I felt myself becoming complacent. But I was like, my bank account is not in a complacent place, so why do I feel complacent? And LA can do that to you. The blue skies, the good weed, the pretty women, just living a good life every day will make you feel like you made it. And mind you, I did really well for myself. We had a nice place, me and my brother and all those good things, but I knew that this too will pass. And so, boom, I was like, I need to get out of LA. I'm too complacent. And it's not LA fault. It's my fault. LA ain't doing nothing but being what it's always been for the last 1,000,000 years. And so, boom, I went to Miami. This is 2018. And then in 2018, what did I do? Miami was kind of like my duck off spot. Nobody didn't do that. I wanted to come back to the South, but I didn't want to come back to Atlanta. So to me, Miami is the LA of the South because it got water, it got women. I don't know about the weed, but it just felt what I'm used to.
They got other.
Right. And it felt what I just was used to coming from LA. And so I just treated that as like my in-home studio there. And I was traveling so much, I got blessed to pick up this sneaker show with Complex.
Okay.
So I started doing full-size run with Complex. Shout out to my boys, Welty and Dunn. And, we took that show and put it up there just with Joe LaPuma, like number 1, number 2, going back and forth, the best sneaker show. So now, as soon as I get out of LA, go to Miami, the blessing come with New York. So now, boom, I'm in New York all the time shooting the show with Complex. So I'm in this bag of, I'm writing music for people. I'm dropping mixtapes here and there, EPs, Daddy Issues, Father Figure, all these different projects that I got out. Feeding my cult fan base, because I realized I was like, oh, I'm what they call niche. I have an acquired taste. I'm not for everybody, I realize. Even though I am,
For sure.
the way that consumerism works, I'm not going to be for everybody because I don't believe in putting a gun to your head to make you like me. No, it's either you get it or one day you will. And so, boom.
At what age did you learn that?
Ooh,
Because that's a process.
it is. I think, man, I had you see, I'm an immigrant, man. So I feel like I learned that before I even got into music, like just being here in Atlanta. And like, I was kind of always one of those guys when it came to shoes. And, you know, I realized that in anything I did, even when I was hustling and trapping and things of those, like, I realized that I understand who I am. So I never have to be like, bro, look at my fit. Bro, you see my fit. That's how my mind works. But I realized that because I move like that, that triggers people in a subconscious way of like, who you think he is?
Who this nigga think he is?
Is.
For sure.
Like, for real. And so that jealousy that comes, that unspoken jealousy that I could smell, because I leave my ego at the door when I walk into rooms because I don't need to. I look like this. I'm straight. I realized like, oh, this will get me killed. Because what they're building in their mind and the perception that they're building in their mind about me, first of all, I'm not finna talk you out of it, because what the hell? And second of all, I can't help but be me. That's, God made me this way. So I learned it, to answer your question, I learned it before I got into music with fashion. And just the way that people perceived me, the way that they threw stones, and then they end up looking just like me. I went through that before music.
Yeah.
You know, anything like, I was a part of that early skinny jean era, like early, real early in this city, like dumb early, walking through Lenox Mall and, you know, getting all the stone them, kill them, what are you doing? You're making my child crazy. And, you know, all these things just showed me that, oh, you know what? I don't have to wear no gold today. Like, God made, I'm the gold. I'm golden. I'm the person that makes this thing shine, no matter what it is. And so I already had that together coming into the business. What I didn't know or understand was the business.
Right.
Or how, you know, doing music.
So, like, I want to stay right here for a minute, but take me to understand this better as far as this eclectic style that you have that exudes confidence, right? You wasn't born in Atlanta. You were born in Trinidad.
Yes, sir.
Right? Came to Atlanta at what age?
Let's say elementary school, so third grade, whatever
Okay.
that.
So during that time, okay, high school, what high school did you go to?
South Atlanta, baby.
South Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Now, as you transition into understanding, okay, who I am, right? A part of that process that you just spoke about, I can relate to as well too.
Yes, sir.
Being extremely confident in who you are, unapologetic, not having to, you know, apologize for certain things of other people's insecurities, but it's just like, it just rubs people in a sense. But I learned it through a different realm, and I'm curious to kind of see and hear, you know, yours, because a lot of mine is back behind what I deem is my merit, right? What I want to know more or less about you is, you spoke about your brother, right? Do you have siblings? And just the impact of parenting, and was that kind of nudged to just what we understand or see today?
So my parents don't have anything to do with my style. My dad has had like 3 pieces in all the million years that I've known him that like stands out in my young age of like, oh, that's fly. But my same brother I was talking about, I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters to answer that question. I come from a big family, but I didn't grow up with them. I grew up by myself. So I got all these brothers and sisters, I still grew up by myself.
Wow.
And so I have the only child mentality type of thing. So I had to have fun by myself. I had to entertain myself. I had to bring attention to myself at an early age because all I have is me, my mother. The style aspect of it, the confidence aspect of it, to answer your question, I believe it comes obviously from being born in Trinidad, so Trinidadians, like the Caribbean fusion into things. But Atlanta, Georgia, when I got to Atlanta, because I lived a lot of places. I lived in Canada, Montreal. I lived in Jacksonville, Florida. I lived in New York. I lived obviously in Atlanta and then South Carolina. But Atlanta is what I always say, I'm from Atlanta because it molded me. As far as the gentlemen that I met at an early age, they were big fans of Dungeon Family. So then that introduced me to Outkast, and just like, oh wow, that's different. The word eclectic wasn't in my vocabulary at the time, but I was just like, this stands out to me. It's like everybody is like, you have Eastside, Lil Jon the Eastside Boys, you have Pastor Troy and DSGB and all those cliques. You know what I'm saying? But this Goody Mob, this Dungeon Family thing is what's standing out to me, you know what I'm saying? And so the city is moving this way.
But I'm staying here.
I'm here with these AT aliens.
It's rich. It's
It does something for me. And that is kind of gradually what you see over time is trial and error of me moving with my spirit and doing things, at a teenage, the teen years, that was very questionable, but it just always felt good to me. And the people that really know me, like my best friends and just people that actually know me from, like, especially high school, it's like, bro, I've been putting it on for a minute, bro. Like, I mean, like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, even when I didn't have no money, I still was like, the airbrush shirts, like, I still like figured out, even when I really didn't have that, I was in the thrift store. Like, I still was, making it look good. And I just equate that to, first of all, our Father above, like, giving me the shine.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bro, as you're talking, I'm saying to myself, like, I always had this conversation with a good friend of mine, and he's not in here right now, but as the difference between you two is similar, but you have a name. And not oftentimes, a person may be like, yo, that's so-and-so. If anything, it's like, who is that?
Yeah.
And then, like, it's not tooted or it's not rooted in a way like, yo, like, that's dope. It's more like the audacity for you to wear that.
Correct.
But like I say, two different situations is on one hand, it's like, oh, that's Trinidad James. That's a part of the aura of him. And another part is like, to my partner, is like, okay, well, why is he, how I had to explain to him is, you automatically go into a situation explaining who you are rather than being understood, right? And as we talk, and as we have these things, there's other people that watch this that may take heed to, how do I properly go about living? Because it's a crossroad that happens. Even for me, like I said, like, there's so much that I relate to being vibrant, being true to who you are, not really dabbling or questioning, other things that may falter other people, but for you being different and embracing that, having a style that's not necessarily the trend, what would you say to the individual to keep them true to their thought processes?
Oh, the most important thing is to, make sure that your intention is rooted in something that can be impactful. If your intention doesn't have any impact, then you'll quit. If you're following in everything that you start, then you're not being original. So you will always be defensive, you subconsciously or intentionally. I think you have to find out, what's comfortable, for you, what colorways look good on you, and then what you could afford. I designed with my clothing brand things like that. It's called the Triple C formula, which is comfort, colorway, cost. It has to be comfortable. The colorway has to go good with your skin tone and your spirit, because your spirit has a color and an aura. And then wear things you can afford, because that's how you stay consistent with your drip. And that helps you build intention. because you understand, okay, what am I going out to get? Something comfortable, something that looks good with my skin tone and my aura color, and then I can afford it every time I go do it.
Yeah.
So that means I can do it again. Because if you can only do it once, is that really you?
Is it that's a hit, but it's a bunt.
It's a moment.
Yeah.
It's a moment. So, I think that being able to, anything that you can do consistently is, what people remember.
Yeah.
And you got to give yourself grace to get to that place of, it feel like I just now got to the place where, like you used with your homeboy, where it's like, whatever I wear, you know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as somebody like, that's Trinidad James, it's like, bro, relax, that's Trinidad.
Yeah.
Where somebody will defend if somebody has an issue with what I'm wearing or what I'm doing. It's like, bro, that's Trinidad, what are you doing? Like, the culture protects me now from naysayers or people that just don't understand my audacity.
Right.
And that's beautiful.
Bro, you've created such a niche for yourself because it's like almost, if I wear something regular or if I'm just in loungewear, people will be like, what?
You all right?
You good?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, I was, looking at some clips online of you playing basketball, and I'm like, he should have Trinidad that more. Or, you know what I mean? It was like, it's almost expected with the persona, and you call it, your support protecting, but that's just what you've done. And that's almost like a homage moment because now people can appreciate it, more than ever. Now, you talked about the clothing store and brand, but let's talk about the store as well as the 567 agency as well.
5 stands for change, 6 stands for love, and 7 stands for completion. The idea is that everybody has a step 1 and they want to go to 10. But most entrepreneurs, most creatives, they don't want to go through the process to success, which is the 5, 6, 7, the in-between. Because of my journey, ups, downs, however you want to look at it, bro, I've had to fall in love with the process. The process is what I've been chasing behind the whole time because I saw what, I had success early, so I've been successful. Mm-hmm. I've been put my name in the rafters, sure. I could stop right there and there. You know what I'm saying? Like I own 2 of the biggest songs of the last 10 years, last decade. But it's so much more to that. I was like, no, I want longevity. How do I get that? By understanding the craft. And that's what I follow behind, man. That's what helped me to do that. And then I learned the process so much that it put me in a place where I was like, when I told you about that depression in 2014, what helped me break that depression was helping another artist. So whenever I'm in a weird spot, to get me out of like real depression, I help other people. And when I did that the first time in 2014, I was like, oh, I just cracked the code. Yeah. This is a life hack for me. It might not be for everybody, for me. Yeah. And it was. And so, I basically turned that into a professional thing, especially coming out of the pandemic, because the pandemic, depression tried to creep back up on me again. I dropped an amazing project called Black Filter with an amazing producer named Young Fire. And, we put in so much work. 2019, one of my best years. I'm in Uncut Gems, the movie. I'm working with City Girls. Did the first band on the Cannon show. I'm all type of things. Like people was finding out like, oh, Trinidad Penn kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, thank you. Because this is the work that I wanted to put in. Mm-hmm. The work that I always thought I would have to put in from the beginning. But, God worked it different. He's like, I'm going to give you a success here. And then you going to have to show me that you deserved it. And I'm going to not make it easy for you. And for me, I'm always down for the challenge, no matter if it's from God or man. And that's really what you've been seeing, man. And so we started with the agency and like just been helping. It started with, I was writing for everybody and it wasn't really hitting nothing. And then we did like Bad Baby first, her first hit record, boom. And then that made labels send more girls my way, which was something I was already asking for because in 2017, I looked at my discography and I was like, oh, dang, I ain't worked with no women. What's that about? Yeah. I grew up, I got 4 sisters. I got 7 aunties. A lot of my friends are women. Like, why am I not working with women? What's going on with me? And so, words are power. And 2018, boom, catch the hit with her. And boom, 2019, just more and more girls coming through. Labels are sending them over. 2020, I dropped the project, Black Filter. The pandemic happens, slaps me in the face because I wasn't pandemic ready.
Nobody was.
So some people benefited from it, some didn't. I was one of the ones that didn't to a certain extent musically. But fashion-wise and the store that we have now, I was able to start that brand then. And 5, 6, 7, I got my first chance to do creative direction for music that I had written with an artist from Dallas, Texas. I was in Miami still at the time when I had left LA and went to Miami, like I told you. That's what happened now, because we didn't finish. But from 18 to 20, I'm in Miami on the low, just helping people out while I'm working on this Black Filter album. Helping people out, getting better, my pen getting colder and colder. And then we wrote these crazy songs for this female artist, and we ended up catching one of the biggest, this when TikTok and Billboard merged to have their own top 50. Yeah, we had like the number 3 song on there. So for me, I was like, oh, wow. When I did the creative direction, it told me to stay on. It was like, look, you already wrote the songs. Why don't you help us with the whole presentation of this? And I was like, sure, I got you. And that's when the light bulb clicked that, oh, this is how I bring value to music, especially hip hop. So it got to a place where it's like, what I do, what Trinidad does with Trinidad is for a particular type of person. But when I help other people, look, we on the charts, we this, I'm getting plaques, I'm doing all these things. And that's kind of like where that 5, 6, 7 bug started. We actually put a real actual name to the company in 23, but I had been doing the work since 2019.
Yeah.
And it's just been a blessing, man. We've done some amazing things, brother.
Say less, man. That's just dope to hear. Just the evolution of who you are and what you constantly are becoming. You being from Trinidad, are you bilingual?
In Trinidad, they still speak English, it's just with an accent.
With the accent, yeah. And you travel so many different places. And just in the industry of Trinidad, a person who probably sticks out the most who is open about being Trinidad is Nicki Minaj. Yeah. It's like one of them things like, is there a network that you guys cling off of or support? Or is it just still the industry of whatever?
Well, I think that if I'm understanding your question correctly, there's an unspoken, like, I got respect for you because you're Trini.
Yes.
But you got to do your own thing. Nicki come from that old guard, so she a gangster. She didn't get it easy, so she don't give it easy when it comes to respect or feature. And I respect that because I kind of grew up in that old guard too of like, I don't expect nothing. You know what I'm saying? I earn it. But there is an unspoken Trini thing, between all the Trinis for the most part, except Ferg, he's Trini. Like, it's mad Trinis. Where we always happy for each other. I'll speak to her a little bit here and there, like every so often, a year or two. What's going on? I got a song for you. Like, I'll just DM her and say, she'll hit me back. Yeah. We haven't really been in each other's face a lot of times over my 13 years in the game. But every time that we are, it's love and respect. Yeah, for sure.
Answer this. The name clearly comes from the country, Trinidad, but why specifically Trinidad James and not your whole name, Nicholas Williams?
I think, well, that's not a good rap name, my government name, so that's that. But
Trinidad Nicholas? Nicholas the Trinidadian? But some would say like, yo, the pants or the
it's a spinoff of Rick James. Because I used to be called Nick James.
Talk to me nice. Okay.
Right?
There
so in the hood here in Atlanta, the people I was growing up with, especially on the South Side, I was like, oh, that's Nick James. Or whatever. But that Nick James was spent off of Rick James because of the leather pants.
Yeah.
And just, dressing in these ways is just like, bruh.
It's different.
The audacity, right? And when music came into the picture, I was gonna go by Nick James, but it was already an artist named Nick James. And I just believe in originality. And I was like, I was born in Trinidad. You know what? Let's do it for Trini. Trinidad James.
There she goes. I got you. Did your family support your decision to pursue music?
My mother did and my father did, actually, which was really interesting for me because my mom has always been my support system in creativity all the way until I got to music. And then she pulled back because it's just too demonic, she's a Jehovah's Witness. So her mindset when it comes to those type of things is just not something she wants in her ecosystem, which I respected eventually. At first, I was pissed because you're my mother.
Yeah.
And like the first hustle I ever had was trapping fake Jordans and throwback jerseys. She gave me the startup money for that startup company. She was the GoFundMe. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that changed my life, to be honest with you, because that showed me how to hustle I was mad young selling this stuff. But I didn't have a great relationship with my pops growing up. I had an incredible one with my mom. But when music happened, it's almost like they was like, oh, tag team, let me get in there.
Yeah.
How whatever. So my mom, she got out the ring, and then my father came off the top rope like, hey, baby. Hey. You know what I'm saying? I love it here.
Yeah.
How my boy doing music? I got you. And he's been my biggest fan ever since, man. When I'm at my worst, if it's one person that's going to hold me down and say exactly what I need to hear, here's my dad.
Yeah. How do you think Atlanta's roots and community impacted your upbringing in music as a whole?
Well, the first thing that Atlanta always taught me is no matter what, have respect for women. Just off top.
Yeah.
You know, that Southern gentleman thing, it just kind of stuck with me. So it kind of makes sense now with the 567 agency that we work with majority women.
For sure.
Being from Atlanta, if you really from Atlanta, bro, you are cool. Like, it's just, bro, I'm cool, bro. Like, you know, I'm from
effortless.
I'm from the A, bro. You know, and like people don't understand that. You know, it's just like they had to get used to that. It's like, bro, I don't have to.
I don't gotta, man, listen.
So, you know?
Bro, I explain Atlanta like this is Wakanda. Like, this is the mecca of opportunity for Black people specifically.
Yeah.
And if you're not from here, but you come to here, as in Atlanta, you will be inundated with a surplus of individuals with melanin skin. And not just melanin, but just minorities as a whole. And I've just grown, almost not taking it for granted, but just grown to appreciate, like, there's no place in the world like Atlanta. And even though JC has the line that says, if you can make it in, you know, New York, you can make it anywhere. But in some way, shape, form, all roads lead to and through Atlanta in some capacity. And if it's stamped there or stamped here, then that's almost like the badge of honor.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely one of those special badges to have on your shoulder.
Yeah.
For sure.
So as we were coming up with questions and topics to kind of even, you know, ask for this particular episode or segment, I'm asking you, why hip hop though? Because the visual, if you were to say, even back in 2011, 2012, Trinidad James, I would not have expected hip hop, right? And still now, I don't expect a hip hop artist to look like this. You feel me? And your visual changed. You know, All Gold Everything was pretty much the hip hop in you. But as you're morphed and just your whole style has been more than just chains and just the experience of that. Mm-hmm. So is there ever a time where you say, all right, hip hop is where I want to be? Could you go to a different genre of music?
What's really cool about hip hop is different from rap. And, you know, rap goes all the way back to African dialect, back to slavery. It's just jive talk to slick talk, that's rap. Hip hop is honestly what corporate turned rap into.
Right.
You know, and so to me, hip hop is a smart choice for Trinidad James because the Black experience is able to, it's like, this is my movie. Those music videos are my TV shows. It allows me to, express what I'm saying from what I'm actually saying. Because I think if you just hear it without seeing it, you might not get it. But if you see it, it's a better chance of you getting where I'm coming from. And so, can I go to another genre? I definitely think I can. With the new music that I'm dropping and to come, I definitely do other genres. It's just one of those things where we're not allowed to do what we want. You just got to do what you want. It's something about artists doing multiple things that the ecosystem of just entertainment, period, they don't like to see us go from there to that, to that, to that. Do people do it still all the time? Yeah. Right. And I think that you should. I think that, I want to be remembered as, they couldn't cage him. Because it's not like I'm just trying to do it to be like, oh, I'm doing R&B. Like, no. I only do things that literally my spirit tells me to truly do. And I put the work in to do it right. That's why it sometimes takes me a minute to drop music, because I'm working on what's the best version of this genre that I'm gonna do that still feels like me. Yeah. So, yeah. Hip-hop makes sense.
Now, what has your tenure in this industry taught you? Because you just threw out 13 years, and when you think about it, it's like, yo, has it been 13 years?
Yeah,
it's
like, 13 right now.
It's rocking, bro.
Man, I think the main thing that this 13 so far has taught me, people tell you to protect your peace. I would tell you to protect your creativity. Peace and creativity sometimes don't align. Creativity stresses you out sometimes because doing it is awesome. Making it be appreciated is a different task. Shooting this podcast is awesome, and it's a formula, and you got a team. The other aspect of it is like making people like it and view it and watch it, and building up the numbers and the views. And that can be frustrating sometimes if you don't have a great team aligned around you. But yeah, man, I think that that's been the main thing I would tell somebody is like, protect your art, man. Like, never blame your art for what's going wrong in your life. Don't be scared to get in the mirror and ask yourself, what's going on with me? What's going on with the people that I have around me? That's going to make a big difference if you stay consistently reflecting on what is my intention and what is going to be my impact.
Let's talk about fashion. And, you've been known for bold, eye-catching fashion choices, nevertheless. What's been the most daring or experimental piece you've ever worn, and what inspired it?
So I don't think that anything's experimental. When you see me have it on, I was just like, this is hard. And I never wore like a dress or nothing, Like everything I wore was male clothing. Right. It just was cut different. Like it's a Japanese cut or it's a Spanish cut or, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that anything I ever wore, what I could think about is like different hairstyles. When I did the 2016, 2017, I catched a hit on the West Coast with Lil Dicky and Mystical. That outfit, that's a black woman who does my sweaters. Her name is Clara Martin. It has a big C on the sweater, and it's like tassels hanging from the arms, stripes. And then I got like these two, I think I got like fake dreads or I forgot what type of hairstyle I did, but it was some crazy Busta Rhymes looking thing. And I just remember everybody on set kind of been like, what the hell? Bruh, psyched out. Cause we shot that in Atlanta too. He's psyched out. Like, what's going on with him?
He zooted it.
You know what I'm saying? At my video shoot, you know what I'm saying? We paid some money for it. That was a good video shoot, man. But you know, I think like that was edgy. You know, to people, like it's always other people's opinion. If you see me have it on, I'm not doing nothing out of the norm. This is what I'll go everything. Like that wasn't out the norm. Now I sold those clothes in the store that I worked at, so of course I'm gonna wear it. You know what I'm saying? Those Versace loafers. It was just time to step it up because of the music video.
Yeah.
You know, but that leopard print shirt, that was Joy Rich. You know, I sold that in my store. Those red pants, I got them from Nordstrom's. You know, like easy peasy. You know.
Now, there's been this trend over the last couple of years of individuals painting their nails, right?
Yes.
The thought process behind you getting your nails done, I'm seeing them right now, some with pearls, some without pearls. Like, dare I even ask to look at your toes, but is that, like, you going to the nail shop and then a person saying like, yo, what Buddy got going on? Mm-hmm. Or even in the nail shop, it's like, what Buddy got going on? Mm-hmm. Talk to me through how that came about. It was like, yo, like I want to express myself through all things and some things, it being nails as well.
My love for art. I've been getting my nails done 7 years, 7, 8 years. How it started was just with pinkies. I saw a documentary from my OG. I saw a documentary about American pimps. My OG is in it, Bishop Don Juan. He was one of the first OGs to really treat me with the respect that I actually wanted to be treated with when I came out to LA. And just period from all OGs. And that made us be really, really cool. Like he really introduced me, like laid out the green carpet for me in LA. And so one day I'm just looking at a documentary and, you know, they start taking you through the, you know, the lineage of it. And then they get to him and I'm like, oh, I'm OG. So I'm more invested. Right. And I'm looking at, they're talking to his mother and, you know, she's talking about like the girls just be banging on the door for a son to come down. And then they show old pictures of him when he's a young man. And one of the pictures of him and a few girls, you know, his girls, they dress like him and stuff like that. So I know it was his girls. And for some reason, something stood out to me. I'm like, what's that gold on his hand? And I stop it and zoom in on the iPad or whatever, and I'm like, oh, his pinky is gold. I said, oh, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. And I'm Trinidad James. Like, gold is everything.
It's right? Expected.
Right? And so I was like, oh, that's some Trinidad shit. So I was paying homage. It started as like paying homage to him because he just treated me with so much respect. I got so much respect for him, the man, you know, of how he treated me. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not me sitting here condoning pimping somebody, mama or daughter who got pimped. Like, I have nothing to do with what your mama did with her vagina. But him, the man, treated me with respect of like, he ain't even put me on no pimping stuff. Like, he showed me just like, hey, these are the type of people that
it's the style,
yeah,
more so than what he was actually.
Yeah, exactly. And so, boom, when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm finna try that. And so, boom, in Caribbean culture, if you go to Trinidad, Jamaica, wherever, but let's just stick in Trinidad because I don't want to speak for Jamaica. That we have long nails. Like, they just like men just have long nails. Like, not long nails, but like just have nails.
Yeah.
It's just a thing.
Healthy nail beds.
Yeah, healthy nail beds. Strong, healthy nail beds. And so, boom, started with the pinkies. Getting them gold. So gold pinkies is how it just started. Like, it was just some fly thing to do.
Your actual nail was growing long enough, or you was getting...
Yeah, like my nail, this is a Gel X tip on top of my nail, but my nail is under it is basically pretty much this long. Almost, into my actual real nail. You know what I'm saying? And so, boom, just gold pinkies. Because it reminded me of when I was a teenager. And I got a piercing like up here in my cartilage. I am young. I go to a hood school in Atlanta. I go to South Atlanta High School, or whatever. And I did it. I was living in apartments off Forest Park, in Forest Park. And boom, first time I get my ears pierced, man, I go boom, boom, boom. I just first time. Boy, what? I come back. Well, I'm like, boy, I'm going crazy on your folk. Man, them folk were like, but what the hell you got going on?
What buddy on, man?
Boy, go up to your mama's house and take that out right now.
Yesterday.
Like, what are you doing? Or whatever. And I was like, for real? He was thrown off by that or whatever. And I allowed my peers at the time to, you know,
affect your choices.
Affect my choices. And fast forwarding, with the gold pinky thing, it felt like that all over. I remember that feeling coming back.
It's boiling. That
like, oh, like
boiling.
they gonna be like, boy, what the world going on with him? And I was like, perfect, because this is me.
Say less. Can you describe your style in 3 words?
Does it have to be 3? Can it be 2?
Talk to me.
Ratchet-Caviar.
Have you ever had caviar?
Yeah.
Never had caviar a day in my life.
You never tried it?
Well, I'm vegan now.
Oh, okay. But when you wasn't,
yeah, it wasn't just something that
okay.
I'd be like.
If you have it on the right thing, man. Oh, well, you vegan now, and I want you to stay vegan. But if you ever decide to cheat, then you need to go.
I'm not a cheater
At all. No, that's like if you ever decide, because I know that you're not. If you ever decide to cheat, it's
I'm not.
I know, but you know, hypotheticals. You know, there's a place, and I think that you'll like their pancakes and eggs, but it's not what you're thinking. It's the way that they serve their caviar. Crazy. It's a Asian spot. They got one in Miami. They got one in New York. Really, it's Japanese Cote C-O-T-E. Cote Steakhouse. Cote Japanese Steakhouse. I think that you'll love their caviar if you were a cheater. Like, this won't ever happen.
Not cheater. Me, don't even mix.
Come on. He's like, actually, I won't say the word no more.
Yeah, please don't, because I'm working on.
Yes, sir.
This me? Oh, I'm locked in.
Oh, vegan man.
You see what I'm saying?
Amen.
Dun, 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 dun. Speaking of restaurants, have you ever been to Fellowship?
Put me on.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Fellowship ATL is a cigar-friendly restaurant.
Okay.
I know the owner. I am the owner.
There it is.
But,
there it is.
bro, food, you're not any allergens or anything like that?
I'm just allergic to bad food.
That's cool. You and me both. Lamb chops, steak, chicken.
Do you have vegan options now?
I have to.
Okay.
'Cause I don't want to
cheat.
I don't want to do that, you know? And where I'm at now, I'm just so locked in and focused that anything that I, try to get people to partake in is something that I have to also indulge in as well.
Practice what you preach.
Not cheating.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I don't even like when you say the word.
Come on now. So back to clothing. That was a Fellowship ad read right there. Is there a brand growing up that you wanted but couldn't afford? We all have a story.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Averex, of course. Averex. I thought you was going to say that, like, really like started off molding me, which would have been LRG, but I could afford it, like, kind of. So I loved LRG. LRG was the first brand that I committed myself to.
Wow.
It's just the colors, the owner.
That's go ahead. I'm sorry for that.
Lifted Research Group. That's what the LRG stand for. Jonas Bevilacqua, rest his soul. He was like the original Virgil, man. He was like Virgil mixed with like the dude. I'm blanking on his mind right now, but the owner of Bape, the original owner of Bape, he was like that kind of Nego. He was like a Nego. And it was just fly, man. The guys around me who, put me on Dungeon Family, put me on Outkast, and put me on LRG.
LRG was like a DTLR special. Where like DTLR was like where people, like hood cats with money shopped.
Downtown Locker Room. Talk about it.
The other folks shopped at Champs.
Right.
Foot Locker. No, still quality.
The way you said other folks, though. Jesus. Like,
listen.
As Cam said that, y'all.
Listen.
As Cam said that, y'all.
I'm standing on it.
Hey.
At the reality of fashion experiences wasn't always ideal for me growing up in Atlanta. I didn't start shopping at DTLR, bro, until I would go get a shoe, but top, bottom, because they had the good stuff. They had
for sure.
The jerseys, the hats.
That's when $300 felt like $1,000.
What? How? Like
1,000.
But you said something like the first brand that you were committed to.
Yes, sir. LRG.
LRG.
Yes, sir.
Bro, mine was Ralph Lauren.
That sounds about right.
Bruh.
I missed the polo era like that. I couldn't afford it. Okay, I couldn't
never
afford
could.
it. I couldn't afford polo.
I couldn't.
I couldn't afford polo. So that's to answer your question.
But now let's rewind it back. I was so naive, or so I wasn't educated to understand that polo. I was so engulfed in polo being, oh, that's a polo shirt. But that was the style or the structure of the shirt.
Talk about it.
I was so brainwashed that I thought every polo, like, cats would be like, yo, that's a polo. And we would just associate that with the horse.
Yeah.
So when he's like, yo, just go put a polo on. And I'm like, nigga, that ain't no polo, nigga, that's a Walmart. You know what I'm saying? But as I started to realize and educate myself about it, that's just the power of that brand to realize like, yo, like, no, the polo is the brand. A polo shirt is actually a style of shirt.
Yes, sir.
Now, I was wearing USPA.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
From Marshalls and them, TJ Maxx and them.
Come on.
You know, them
They
back
had
to
collars on them. That's the polo.
you know, and I was trying to, you know what I mean? It was trying to protect the horse, because the horse had a lot of extracurricular
The dots
activities.
between the letters. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you get the horse and the dude on top with USPA, any letters up under the like, no, you tripping. That ain't a polo.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So, bro, that was like, okay, I was so loyal to that, and rightfully so. Still have a lot of fashion sense towards, Ralph Lauren and the impact, especially in the South. You talking about black boy, white boy, like that aesthetic was just. And another one too, Prada.
Okay, Prada had you. Some
The
Prada I
shoes.
couldn't afford.
The shoe, I couldn't.
Couldn't afford.
I bought my first pair of Pradas when I got into the NFL.
Sound about right.
And shout out to all the natives from Louisiana, New Orleans.
Hey.
When Katrina happened, a lot of, those individuals came to Atlanta, and it was engulfing. Like, they had a style about them. That's when I first heard the word G-Nikes.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, ain't gonna give me them G-Nikes.
All right.
I'm like, but what the hell is that?
It was really cool when New Orleans natives came to Atlanta during that time, because they really brought their style,
energy,
their accent,
yes.
like their food, like they were there. Like anybody from New Orleans is like their black seasoning, like their seasonings. Like it was really cool, really cool.
So as it was happening, I was like, I would always tell the girls, like, say baby. What you talking about, baby? And I was like, ooh, that just get me,
This guy.
But the dude, one of my partners, it was Mark, Juan, E, and Broderick. They all had Pradas. I'm like, bro, what are those?
Right.
And I would always see them kind of wearing them. And I'm like, bro, what are those shoes? They look so fly. They look like they could go with anything.
Period.
And as I started doing, like, okay, amusement comes in many different forms.
Yes, sir.
And when you're immature, you don't know how to just ask flat out. So, like, you look, because you see it again, it's like, okay, what is that? Instead of just saying, like, hey, my boy, like, what are those type of shoes?
Right.
And I seen it for so much, and I seen how they kind of, rocked it. Then I was like, bro, I went to the mall, and I see, hey, that's the shoes that Prada. Did not know what it was. But I looked in, I said, boy, 420. Boy, ain't doing it. Won't do it.
That was $2,000.
The devil is still a lie.
Come on.
And that's when I realized, okay, cool, when I get a little coin, and I don't know how they had it, because they was in.
Same thing as you.
You see what I'm saying? The math wasn't mathing.
Come on.
But needless to say, those are some of the brands that I kind of fell in love with. So, Now answer this. Do men getting their hair done, like washed, straightened, or shampooed, and fully enjoy, is that something that is feminine?
No. Taking care of yourself is a human experience that both genders should be able to enjoy in peace. Getting your hair done, washing your hair, nails, toes, all those things, I think to me these are things that you should do. What the true issue is how you portray it. You have tradition versus the now. You're always in competition with the now. What's happening now is always going to upset tradition, which is from the past.
Right.
And that's that's that. Is what you're going to do about it. But I think that the fact that you see so many men, whether they're straight or not, doing these things, who are more comfortable putting it out there, is just because we're in a different time. Where it's like, look, man, you're gonna find out it ain't nothing is on the down low no more. It's out there. Like this is who people are becoming more confident in who they are and being able to showcase it. And the people who are not necessarily insecure about themselves, it don't always gotta equate to because you have an issue with my nails or an issue with my dreads coming out of my hat that, oh, you're insecure. No, it just, you don't understand it. You don't have to like it. It's okay for you not to like those type of things if that's not what you do. But I think that it's more important for the person doing it to, once again, know your intention so that you can understand your impact.
Bro, I'm really enjoying talking to you because a lot of times the man behind the character is not always what it's built up to be.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
It's like, when you think about Trinidad James, the aura, on-screen aura is just this bam, loud, rambunctious. Woo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're very articulate and you're able to verbalize your thought process, and that's harder than,
Oh man, it's like pulling teeth.
It's like appreciation for it.
Oh, love, man. Appreciate it.
What trend do you feel like you started but didn't get the credit for?
Everything. Let me talk my shit.
Please. Talk to me nice.
I think that the most important thing that Trinidad James has done so far in 13 years is just it's the same thing that we do with 567 Agency. I don't tell women what to do. I just remind women who they are and what they can do. And that's the same thing that Trinidad James did for culture. I didn't tell culture what to do. I just reminded them or showed them, like, we are this too. Because black people don't get to dream. We don't get to fantasize and execute the fantasy. Like, we just get to rap about the fantasy. And then it's like, you just capping. But I think that when you truly are living your experience, people always have a problem with your own people too. Because it's not tradition or they're not used to it. They're used to what they're taught. Whereas, like, for me, I'm about unlearning to relearn better and do it better. And that's just the difference. So, everything that I've done from day one with Goal on my MacBook, which is my first music video, all the way till now, My Biggest Hater, which is my current single, is just remind our people, like, you can be doing this too. Whether you want to support what I'm doing or not, I promise that you can do this too, because it's always gonna be somebody that copies something I did. Always.
Talk it. It's now just the history of Atlanta, right? And trends alike. What's the most iconic fashion trend you've seen in Atlanta's rap scene?
Oh, I mean, when it was the white tee, 501 Levi's, and the Air Force Ones or Reebok Classics, that was
a combo.
Yeah, because T.I. would wear it, G's would wear it. Like, the only person that's not a part of their uniform is Young Dro. Every other artist that's a part of their uniform. There is a prominent picture of every artist from Atlanta in a white tee outfit.
Yeah.
Except for Dro.
But I'll say it to this too, like, when you talk about uniforms, a white tee and a black tee is two different type of tones and expressions.
Amen. Stay away from that black tee energy, brother. Hell, it's like they equated that to the black
The black tee is almost equatable to like the black ones.
Cheers to that.
It's like, bro, you know what type of time that I'm on when I'm wearing this every time. You see what I'm
Bob
saying?
in my black tee.
You know what I'm
Bob
saying?
in my black tee.
Was that in my white tee? Yep.
Yep, and
then
they made the black
made
tee.
the black tee. The
Yeah.
black tee was a little bit more rambunctious.
Yeah.
A little bit more rowdy.
The tee showing.
Body. Yeah.
Tee showing.
How do you think your bold style has influenced just, dare I say, like confidence, the world? Like, what do you want people to, like, as you keep, speaking about expression, speaking about confidence, speaking about intentionality, like, what do you want people to know most about it?
About?
Just fashion, just
execute your passions. Execute your ideas. Execute what you haven't tried. Just because black is a slimming color doesn't mean you got to wear it every day.
Yeah.
Just because it's easy to do. Whatever is comfortable for you to do consistently,
Right.
that's where you usually need to challenge yourself.
Now, even with that, right, as the follow-up to that is, how do you protect your sexuality or just the whispers of that being in question at times?
Just don't have sex with the same sex.
That simple.
Yeah. To me, that's the only thing that could make you that.
But true.
Like you could wear whatever. Dennis Rodman wore a dress. He probably had more girls than us, maybe. Because you don't cheat, I don't cheat.
Yeah, for sure.
So Dennis Rodman's definitely done more.
But
and he's wore a wedding dress.
He's multiple times.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying for you to ask is, I don't know about Dennis Rodman. I think we've all had an outfit that's been like, hold on, bro. Like,
Oh, yeah. I just had one the other day. I just went viral about 10 days ago or whatever for, I had these gold platform.
he was playing basketball. Bro, that was hilarious.
Right?
It was
so cool because
It was funny.
I've got to a place. I understood what I was doing. I did I love TikTok. I hate to sound like the grown-up saying that, but I love TikTok now because I spent so much time on there now just like studying and doing my homework. And I'm starting to get a lot of people tapping into my live now. So I did a show. I had a show that same night. And that when you see me playing ball, I'm playing ball at my place. That's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm so wired up from performing. When I perform, I don't know when I guess because you put so much work. Do you still be hyped up still?
Yeah, it's hard for you to come
Yeah,
down.
I can't calm down. So, it's like I got to do something.
But bro, every single shot that I saw, you missed.
Yeah. And the miss, what's interesting, I wasn't trying to miss that many, but I was like,
It was the run.
but when somebody pointed out the run, I was like, what are they talking about? And then I'm running, and then in my own head, I was like, ooh, let me try something. Let me see what happened with it.
It was so hilarious because I'm like, I seen the meme was like, that looks like the cool teacher being involved in PE, and then you shoot a shot, and then whatever. Interesting thing that I just found
That
out.
outfit was crazy, by the way.
The
That
platforms.
outfit-
Were those not boots? Where do you get those?
So these are Luke Casey's. So like when it comes to cowboy boots, right? Because these go all the way up. When it comes to cowboy boots, like Luke Casey's is one of the best to do it. But get some from the secondhand store. It's all good. But those gold platforms were Walter Van Beedendock. The pants was my brand pants, and then the top was Aleek's. That was a fit.
Still comfortable.
Oh, comfortable. The colorway, it popped.
So you had a sock business that made a lot of money, right? And one of the reports stated there was a video saying your sock business made $1 billion.
For real?
Bro. And I was like, hold on, we got to talk about that. Nigga,
I didn't even know if you'd have been able to book me for this if I made $1 billion socks. You would have had to pull up on me.
Bro.
I would have built you a set.
I'm trying to, let me borrow $1.
Like, what?
I'm like,
I mean, I brought you some $1 billion socks. You know what I'm saying? So these are my dad's socks. You know what I'm saying? So we make them here in Atlanta, which is dope. We got one of the only black-owned sock factories in America. So shout out to Kyle the Knitter. That's my business partner.
Yeah.
The dad stands for, so it's not like, oh, father socks. The dad is an acronym for destroying all doubt. So I sell confidence. I don't really sell people clothes. I sell them confidence.
Talk to me nice. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Thank you.
So there was one of them things I'm like, hold on.
We've done decent, but not a billion decent.
Bro, but enough about how much you made, but more what you got your hands in. You know, the socks being one of them. You also did a collaboration with women basketball jackets.
Oh yeah.
Like, bro, you refuse to be pinned down to one specific thing.
Yeah, to me, that's the actual Black experience. You know, I believe that we all have Renaissance in us, but you got to activate it.
Before we move on to, you know, more, what noun has impacted you the most in fashion? Or person, place, or thing?
So Ralph Simmons, when he did Calvin Klein, I really enjoyed that. It's a designer named Edie Sliman who used to do the old YSL. He's one of those ones. And then I mean, bro, I'ma always love Kanye fashion. Kanye and Pharrell, bro.
Yeah.
They set a blueprint, bro, a black print for how you supposed to do both of these things, music and clothes, whether it's what you wearing or what you making.
Let's talk about your clothing store and brand, which is also located in Underground Atlanta.
Hey, come on down to the underground, baby.
Now, do your homework, or is HOMMEWRK?
Oh, HOMMEWRK. HOMMEWRK, yeah, which is a spinoff of HOMMEWRK. We got a curriculum-based brand.
Talk to me.
Where we pick a muse, and that muse is something or someone we believe you should do your homework on. So our first collection was based off a lady named Janelle Penny Commission. He might be like, well, who is that? If you do your own work or homework, you'll find out she was the first Black Miss Universe in 1977. She was from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. When I got to partner with Saucony, if you're from Atlanta, they allowed me to do 4 shoes. So we started the brand with 4 shoes.
Like a blank canvas.
Bam, like, let's go. And so I dedicated all the shoes to Trinidad. So the red ones was dedicated to Sorel, which is my favorite drink from Trini. The blue ones was dedicated, that was our transportation. That was the maxi taxis. The yellow ones, our lunch boxes. So I had a yellow lunch box when I used to go to school in Trini. And then our black ones were the carnivals, which had the steel pans, which is our instrument that we actually made. So, you know, our current collection that ties back to the women's basketball jacket that you talk about, our muse is a lady by the name of Lucia Harris. Lucia Harris is the godmother of basketball. She's the only woman to ever get drafted by the NBA. She got drafted by the New Orleans Jazz back in the day. She ended up not going because she suffered from bad depression. She didn't believe that she belonged, and it really affected her longevity in basketball, so she never even showed up to play for the team. But it's newspaper clippings. You can fact check me. She also, in 1976, our Leatherman jacket, on the right side of our Leatherman jacket, which is a beautiful Leatherman jacket, we gave Angel Reese one at ComplexCon. It says 1976. 1976 holds weight because it's even on the back of our sneaker, too, our first basketball shoe. That's the first time women ever got to play in the Olympics. We came in second place. I think we played against China in Toronto or against Toronto in China, one of the two. But the first basket ever scored in the Olympics for women was by a black woman by the name of Lucia Harris. She was from Mississippi. She went to Delta State University. And she kind of like really set the tone for like what you see a Caitlyn, an Angel, a Rakia Jackson, all these, you know, amazing women do now. But, you know, we also did a low top shoe for Margaret Wade, which was Lucia's coach, because I like to preach and push teamwork. That's why I love, you know, sports, because team is everything, man.
Let me go back real quick. So 5, 6, 7, 8, you always mention about the respect of women and just your affiliation with women. Is that only geared towards women, or that's male and female?
No, we've done some amazing thing with males. It's just that what I realized I work better with women was that working with men, because of ego, like all my studios, on the door it says, leave your ego at the door. With men, our ego gets in the way of our success. If I'm showing up to write songs with you or for you, then I truly have left my ego at the door, and I truly am here to help you. But because of pride that we have as men, whether you're an alpha male or not, a non-alpha male still acts with the same pride as an alpha male. And that's the issue with working with men for me. So I just realized it's like, I'm beating a dead horse here trying to work with men. And we're not putting no plaques on the wall. This is a waste of my time. I could just work on me. And so I started working with women, and then things started clicking. Plaques started landing on the wall. And that's why you hear me speak so much of working with women, because 93% of our roster is women. But I work with men that are willing to listen.
Yeah. What made you choose the location in the underground as the location for your store?
Oh, man, I used to work there. It's
The
same place that I worked at before I did music, where I wrote all everything. That's my store now. Same exact store.
So as a business owner, you know, how would you kind of inform other business owners? Like, do you own the store? Are you leasing? Like, what's the trial and error that goes about being a business owner, no matter what the commodity is and what you're serving?
So I will tell you that owning your own business is awesome, owning your building and things like that. But the location of where you're located what determines of whether you should own or go for the lease.
Okay.
Some places you don't have a choice. You have to lease, you know, and lease in places with great foot traffic. Have a business in any place with good foot traffic.
For sure.
But, you know, if that's not the case, you know, if it's not going to be good foot traffic, then I think that it is better for you to own your building. If you have good foot traffic somewhere and you see that you can be inserted and add value, then insert yourself, pay the lease, and I think you could be very successful.
Now, can you tell us about the aesthetic and style of the store, and what kind of clothing and accessories will you find in your store?
So if you come to our store, it's a very safe space for people, period. We do Reflection Sundays every Sunday, which at 7 p.m. at my store on top of the underground. We do a mental health and wellness event every Sunday for the community, so group therapy. We had one last night. It was incredible. And this is the type of energy that just translates in the store anyways. We sell unisex clothes, so the left side, for the most part, is my brand. On the right side, we carry other Black-owned brands from Atlanta, one from Houston. The colors are all colors that lower anxiety in women on the walls, because if women are calm, then men calm down eventually, which is important to me because hype niggas get on my nerves. Because
Why you so strong, bro?
It's like, relax. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're Cam, but you don't have to lead with your pecs. Like, what the hell? Like, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, we know what time it is. So, you know, that's what to expect when you come to the store. You know, you want to get your nails done. We got the nail area in the back. It's a fun time, man. Fun time.
Yeah, and just for safety purposes, I want to make sure that I said it correctly. It's 567 Agency and not 5678.
567 Agency. 567 Agency.
Agency, say less. Yep. Now, why clothing store and not any other concept behind it?
I wanted to start there first. You know, we're working on our first restaurant, pizza business restaurant, for the end of the year, top of next year.
Oh wow!
But clothes is my first love. It's why I got into music. So, you know, to me, I believe that this year is a renaissance year, actually. And this is the year for left-thinking individuals to really gamble on your passions. So clothes is a safe bet with me because that's my actual background. But the building was available. So I feel like the alignment of just like this store that I worked at 14 years ago being available when I have a new shoe coming out, and it was started as a pop-up idea that turned into like, oh, store idea.
So if your clothing store had a theme song, what would it be?
Mr. Rogers. It'd be Martin, because it's really colorful. Martin. And then
What's that?
And then people already think I'm Jerome anyway, so it's like, it could work out.
I could dig that. What's an item in the store that you're most proud of?
Our Leatherman jacket. Our Leatherman jacket is beautiful. One of the first cut and sew pieces for me to sell out, which is really awesome because like we crush it with shoes, but clothes, the clothes always put me through the process to sell out.
Yeah.
Whatever shoes, they do what they do. But the Letterman jacket was one of my first cut and sew pieces. It was like, oh, we sold all of these. Okay, cool. I gotta order some more.
Yeah.
Dope.
Now, creating those things, having manufacturers or vendors in different places, like tariffs has gone through a wave of ups, downs, and understandings that anybody in the clothing industry knows. How do you source your product?
We're all going through it. All my vendors, all the brands that we carry, myself included. It's just kind of picking and choosing what to get made in America and what to get made overseas.
Yeah.
And also, you just got to be prepared to add. The money you get charged is the money that you add on to your clothes to sell it.
Explain that.
If the tariffs have went up 20%, then it's good for you to at least add 10% to the cost of your original cost you already have in your store. So if your shirts are 50, take it up to 60.
Now, let's talk about music. And here it says, you're signed to Def Jam Records and the CEO of your own Gold Gang Records. All Gold Everything charted at 77 on U.S. Billboard Hot 100. It's crazy work. Directed music video Made for Me by Money Long. Love her. Creative director for Sexy Red as well. Do you feel that the industry is supporting you on this go around of you coming back on the scenes?
Yes, I do believe that the industry is supporting me. I just got more work to do. Okay. I know that for sure. And I'm not signed to Def Jam. I used to be signed to Def Jam.
Used to be.
Yeah. I don't want to have Def Jam be like, huh?
Wait, what?
You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Yeah.
Shout out to TIG. Think it's a Game Records. That's who I work with now here in Atlanta. Their record label also. That's who I did All Go Everything with. So this is a big full circle year for me. I did All Go Everything with TIG. Now I'm doing my new song, My Biggest Hater, with TIG.
Have you ever trademarked any of your lyrics?
I would say I wish I haven't, but I haven't.
Because I'm like, Bruno Mars said, don't believe me, just.
Oh, well, I own that record. That ain't nothing. I've missed out on bags that are equally as good as that, just because a lot of artists from my era and before me, a lot of artists, man, I'm not gonna call any names because it's not something that we're proud of, but it's something that we have to live with, where the Black experience is 7 out of 10 of us is just trying to make anything work. The other 3 come from a family that shows you that this will work. 7 out of 10 of us come from a family where it's like one-sided or they don't even believe in this dream.
For sure.
And so with that being the case, not knowing no better, you can't do better till you know better. And so nobody was telling me like, hey, bro, you should trademark Don't Believe Me, Just Watch, or All Gold Everything, or Pop the Molly, or, any of those type of things. I didn't even know you could do that. We'd heard about like, oh, bling, bling being in the dictionary now. But that's the extent of what I knew. So, I said that to say because when Golden State was like really consistently winning those championships with Steph and them and KD, beating my boy LeBron, unfortunately, all the shirts in the stadium said I'll Go Everything on it. And I remember my boy Ticket Jerry from Atlanta, who will be at all the games. If you know about Ticket Jerry, he'd be at all the games. Has my partner. He used to shop with me at the store, same store, before music. He was like, man, boy, they owe you a check. They owe you a ticket or something to the game or something. And obviously I didn't get any of that.
Did you get paid for the Uptown Funk record?
Oh yeah, I get paid for life for that. Like that's not a momentary thing. Yeah. I'll tell any artist that really doing it. That's what you should fight to make records that can pay you for life.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't do that, then it was just a moment in your life.
Yeah.
You make records that could take care of your kids. And so, being able to have a couple of those under my belt is a blessing.
Man, who taught you, or how did you learn about the business side of rap? Because, you said something, that's almost like gospel, where you hear so many people come in and they speak about, well, I didn't know. I was just trying to make money for me, you feel me? And all of a sudden, now I'm making money, then I'm realizing all the other money that I'm missing out on because of the negligence of not knowing the business.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. Nobody could walk in my size 11s. I wouldn't wish walking in my shoes on anybody, because everything I learned was from fire and error. Walking in the fire and just praying I could walk out the other side and still be alive. So it just came from experience, man. Like bad deals to do good ones. You know what I'm saying? Bad sessions to do good ones. Bad songs to make good ones. Just, you know, being able to just get through doing the thing. Right. A lot of times people never see success because they're too scared to do, to just come out on the field. However, they got all the strength that God gave them to throw the ball from touchdown to touchdown. But they won't walk out in that field and suit up.
Do you still take rap seriously?
Yeah, I do. But I look at it, I understand it differently though.
Okay.
It's not like, well, if this don't work out, then I ain't doing nothing. It's impossible. I got too many hustles. That's literally one of my songs I'm dropping. I got too many hustles. I can't be broke. You know, and so, you know, music is just expression, man. Music is the soundtrack to my life. You know, I don't have any kids yet. I want my kids to be able to understand me I'm a very good communicator, but also their own experience of like, this is your dad too. You know, so that's why I always, journaling, music is me journaling. So I'll be like, oh, this is what I was wearing when I did this. This is what I was on. This is who I was talking to. This, you know what I'm saying? This is what I was eating. That's what music is for me.
Now, what has impacted, going back to that noun question, right? Like, what has impacted your sound? Like, what noun impacted your sound? That's a point.
Oh, man. So now is like, look, if the universe has it aligned, then Trinidad James go knock one out the park.
Yeah.
Sometime in the next 280 days. But more importantly, I'm just heavy on Americana right now. I love America right now, bro. And when I say I love America, it's like just going back to like the Muddy Waters, and this is a guy named Joe West. I would tell anybody, check out Joe West. I went down to Bob Dylan kick not too long ago. I've just been heavy on Americana vibes, man. And that's where that mixed with me now being back in the city a lot because I got the store with all like the new artists and new sounds and things happening. Those two things are the baby that I'm making.
Now, what role do you think social media has played in artists' success, and how do you leverage it in your own, if you do?
Social media it's a god. It's its own version of a god, just like YouTube was a god. Or is a god. You know, how you use it, it affects you tremendously. I've definitely used it, but continuously still use it because it's important. It's just about how you use it, and once again, that intention results in a certain impact.
Are there any upcoming collaborations, projects that you want to tell the people about or tell me?
The next project that I drop, for me, you know, I thought about this moment that I'm about to say right here, right now, is that I need the people that look at this interview, hearing everything that I've said so far in it, if you make it to this part in the conversation, I want you to understand that the next music that I'm dropping, I want you to listen to it. I want a fair chance. I want to tell you that I want a fair chance because I deserve a fair chance. I've did nothing but put in the work. I haven't got anything given to me. I don't believe in luck. I make my own luck. Listen to the music and give it a fair listen. I'm not telling you anything else more than that, but I believe that it deserves a really good listen because it's just jamming, man. And it's the true Black experience. Like, I'm really outside. Like, I know what's going on in the culture. Like, for real. Like, my lyrics and what I'm saying and what I'm pushing, like, is what our culture needs. Like, I'm not trying to be like none of my peers. I respect my peers. My peers can't be like me or whatever. Like, they always do some version of what I do, but you can't be me. So, you know, and I respect I try my best not to do anything my peers is doing. So when I'm telling you that I made some original stuff, it's like, bro, listen to you, boy.
That's Atlanta. Are there any specific artists or influences that you would like to collab with in your music?
Beyonce. Let me just put that there, because Beyonce is a fan of Trinidad James. People might not know that, and I know it. I realize in life that people gatekeep me away from artists a lot because they think I'm going to change them. And it's like, no. Once again, hanging around me just reminds you who you are. And that's, to me, a God-given talent. So I would say Beyonce, because she works with amazing people. Everybody she works with, some of them are my partners. Shout out to Blue and Nova, like my partners. But I know that if I work with Beyonce, I know that we're gonna make something that's like, what? It's still more in the tank? Yeah, it's still more in the tank. It's Beyonce, it's me. Like, I do my homework. Like, I really do it, you know? So Beyonce is number one, but really, bro, I believe in bringing value.
I'm sorry, but you want to write or make music together?
Both.
Okay,
So
there you go.
write for her first, so that I could earn that respect of like, hey, let's do something. Yeah, because you can't just like, oh, let's do a mixtape B. You can't just do that, right? You know what I'm saying?
It is Beyonce.
Yeah, it is. Like, come on now. And then like, bro, like.
But not to downplay you, it's just more or less like...
It's Beyonce, bro. It's Beyonce. Like, it ain't, I look like this. You can't downplay me. You know what I'm saying? But, and then I got a lot of respect for Hov, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of respect. He got a lot of respect for me. I ain't saw him in a while, but, you know, it's like, I respect them folks highly because they poured into me in the beginning of my career just with words, man. And those words helped me out tremendously, man. Real talk. So those two.
For the people who didn't know, Full Size Run was, you know, a YouTube show that it was impacting sneaker culture heavily.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Talk to me about how did it come about and really where did it go?
That transition I told you, so basically 2017, I leave LA, I go to Miami. As soon as I get to Miami, my accountant was like, yo, check out this show. How whatever. I'm like, man, this show feel like my show, a show that I already did. So I hit them folks like, man, I need to be on this show. Like, not as a host, like, I want to be a guest. Boom, they was like, all right, boom, come on. Went, did it as a guest, crushed it. I think we did like 1 million views or something like that, something cool. They had 3 co-hosts at the time. Cool guys, you know, bam, left. About not too long after me leaving as a guest, one of the co-hosts leave. So boom, now they got an open spot. My same accountant who I put him on shoes, he was like, man, you should go do that show. I was like, bro, why would I get a job? I'm me, right? That's how my mind is thinking.
Right.
But he was like, no, think about it. He was like, look, the blogs always getting you wrong. Because that's what was the stigma at the time for
The
us
narrative
personally.
around Trinidad.
The narrative around Trinidad James is all bad. It's all bad, you know. And it's like, damn, I'm not a bad person. Like, I do the work. Like, my peers know what time it is in the studio, on the court, off the court. Like, they know what time it is, but they won't vouch for me. So it's like, I gotta depend on the vlogs to a certain extent because only so much you can do as a person.
For sure.
How whatever, then they get the narrative wrong. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, now, do y'all know me? Like, what are y'all listening to? What are y'all reading? And so I was like, you know what? Let me go behind enemy lines because they felt like an enemy.
For sure.
Let me go behind enemy lines and learn who are the people writing about the people on the field. You know? And that was important. It was integral. And shout out to Complex for giving me a chance to do that. And, you know, being able to build a great Complex family over there with them. We took that show from wherever it was, which wasn't first or second place, and being one of the last shows left when it was all boiled down to it. We did like 200 episodes, and we stopped it because my saying that, if you know me, you know that I'm going to say it from time to time every year. You either die a hero, you live long enough to see yourself turn into the villain.
That is Black Knight or Dark Knight.
Dark Knight,
Batman.
Yes. Like, it's my literal, it plays in my head all the time.
Wow.
I'm always paying attention to, like, am I the villain now? And I just got to a place where I started to feel like I was becoming the villain. Because
On the show?
On the show. Not of the show, but just in general. Like, just in the energy of what was going on in media.
Right.
And I was just like, I want more. I want to do more. And it just wasn't the time because Complex was going through a lot of changes themselves with acquisitions and things of such. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Let's stop this while we on top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my boys, Matt Welty, Brendan Dunn, my co-hosts, they was on the same type of timing. And so we was like, let's stop on top. And, that's what we did.
Would you ever consider going back on that realm of, content? I mean, you're on a show that is created specifically for YouTube, right? And some would say it's a podcast, but the truth of the matter is it's a show. It's so much artistry that goes behind creating it. The not only before the show, during the show, and definitely after the show, that a lot of people are in this, and it's generating a lot of attention.
Yes.
So with that experience that you went through, could you see yourself going back to doing some form of podcasting or show on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to use your platform to let the world know. It's like...
as you should.
It's like I have the best show in my head dealing with sneakers. I just want an opportunity. I need the opportunity. I need the opportunity to do it. Somebody to understand that and get it and just be ready to do something new and fresh, and we'll be number one. I guarantee I get the right team and company to be behind me with my new sneaker show. I haven't done it yet. Just like I said, it's in my head. We'll be number one. In shoes, like you know what I'm saying, in shoes.
But let me tell you this. This is the powerful thing about content. You don't need no backing. Like, do we have brand deals? Like, yes, we do. But for the most part, it's independently owned. And the decisions typically come from, Kristen, the president, and it trickles down to everything else. And I give her a thought. How can we make this happen? And it's never denied. It's delayed, if anything, right? And oftentimes, people would love to say that, Funky Friday, 4th and 1 is successful, but it's not success to me because I genuinely love the thought, like, I get to talk to Trinidad James today, not glazing or anything else like that. Like, I literally have made something that was once shot in the back of a car, something that's digestible for everybody to take notice to. So to any creator, I always say this, create content for yourself first, because I will watch this. You know what I'm saying? Those triple C's that you talked about for fashion, like, I'm going to implement that. I'm going to watch this just to write it back down in my journal and to take a note for myself. But those type of things, I love talking to people with a cigar that I'm not going to smoke because of his allergens towards tobacco. Didn't know that. But it's that reason. It's like, you don't need nobody to support. It's like, if you're supported by what you create and then, somebody else appreciates it, bro, that's all you can ask for. So that's what I would tell you.
Thank you.
Acting, bro.
Yeah.
Now, listen to this. I didn't even know. 2013, Clapping for the Wrong Reasons. 2017, Pitch Perfect 3. 2017, also Love by the 10th Date. Mm-hmm. 2019, Uncut Gems. Mm-hmm. 2015, Major Lazer Cartoon. Mm-hmm. And 2019, Night School. Bro.
Oh, they didn't take Aladdin. Did Aladdin too with Will Smith.
As a boy in South Atlanta,
yeah,
to have done what you've done, what made you get into acting?
It's the Black experience. We have personality that people need to experience.
I guess
And really, honestly, I've never auditioned for none of these roles.
You're lying.
These people call me and was like, bro, we want you to do it. Like,
As
anytime I audition, I lose. Every time I audition for something, because I audition for more things. Every time I audition, I don't get it. But when I don't audition, I get it. So everything you named, I didn't audition. I fell asleep in the studio. Will Smith, right-hand man, knew the producer who studio I fell asleep on the couch. I was there working on the song. When I woke up, I was like, oh, I need to finish the song. So I play the beat or whatever, I'm writing and finishing up. But some of the song is still on there. He come in, he's like, what is this? I thought it was just some new stuff I did last night. And I just showed him, like, he's a visionary, my man Omar. And he was like, he could just hear my pen and he was like, yo, you interested in coming to work with Will in Savannah? Like, yeah. Yeah, and you know what I'm saying?
We wouldn't do that.
And then boom, we ended up doing Aladdin.
That was shot in Savannah?
No. He was shooting the Gemini Man movie there, but bro, he don't do one thing at a time. He do 7 things at a time. Yeah. So we did the soundtrack for Aladdin. That led to us doing the soundtrack.
Okay.
But that's how it initiated. And Pitch Perfect, this white lady was the director. Really cool white lady. I feel bad that I can't remember her name. I apologize for that, but she owned a lot of roosters, so she know I love her. She was like, I just want to meet him. And she met me, and we talked. And
what is something that people may not know that you're involved in?
Everything you named, like literally everything we talked about today.
Outside of clothes and just the thought process of how you were. I really don't want to miss this as a question. It's like, yo, what are you doing that most people don't know that you're doing or can do?
I think I'm expressing myself all the way now because the mental health, the philanthropy stuff people didn't know about, So, we've fed thousands of people over the last 6 to 7 years between me and Love My Neighbor, 501(c) company, like a nonprofit in LA. They won LA Times Nonprofit of the Year a couple of years ago. I won a humanitarian award in LA.
Wow.
So people don't know that. But for the most part, if you truly do your homework, you'll see where I've been acting. I write soundtracks. I direct music videos. I, creative direct. I've got, 2 Grammys. We did the Barbie soundtrack too. That's not on there. But I'm just always working, man. I'm just finding new things. Like I just talked about the pizza thing, so that was a secret, but I'm gonna do a pizza restaurant. I never did a pizza before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
another thing that you haven't been open about talking is dating. Are you dating?
Oh, yeah. I guess that's a part of me. Like, that's what people don't know none about me. You see, I got out of a relationship last year, but I hadn't been in a relationship in eons before then.
What's eons?
A decade. All right? And when you go so long not being in a relationship,
Two different people or the same person?
the same person, different people. Because once again, Atlanta taught me to be a son of gentleman. So if I deal with a woman, if I meet a woman, first of all, some people don't know about me. I don't talk to women. I only talk to women that talk to me.
Does that make you shy?
No, it just, what I realize is that like a lot of men are thirsty. And it's like, because of that, it puts women in the mindset of like, bro, what do you want if you're pursuing me? And I want nothing from you or whatever, like, I'm me. So I always build better with the women that are into me. Because if you're already naturally into me, then if it's meant for us to be cool, we're gonna be tight.
So the girl that you were dating or seeing, she came on to you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't talk to women unless they come on to me. I don't.
So you could see something that's out there and you'd be like, and you won't.
Because women look good, bro. Like,
No, they
I
do.
like women.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they look good. Like, hello, right? Come on, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we don't cheat. So, right? So it's like, come on. So it's one of those things where, bro, don't just go after typical fine women. Like, I see this girl working at the Arden's Garden. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she fire.
She earthy.
She dope. Like, you know what I'm saying?
She can
like,
make a smoothie to make your toes curl.
Yeah, and I love conversation with women too. I love great conversation with women. You know, so that a great conversation sometimes doesn't come from the typical woman what people look at as fine shit or whatever. But if the conversation is great, like some women know how to put it on, but they're not traditional models. However, if a woman could dress, you fine as hell to me. You know what I'm saying? I love smart women. I didn't go to college. I barely got out of high school. I love smart women. I love having smart women attached to me because women are natural protectors and nurturers. Or whatever. So no, the women that care about me, they'll never let me fail. Never. Because my energy attracted genius, amazing, confident women in my life. And that doesn't always mean that, oh, I need to have sex with them. Or whatever. Like, I'm not collecting them either. It's more of like, man, I'm happy that we know each other. Because I guarantee I'm going to bring value to a woman that's in my life. If I'm in your life, I'm going to bring value to it.
But that value will not come unless she comes on to you.
Correct. Not just volunteering value. No, sir.
We're not just
We're not VVing out here.
Nah. Voluntary value is like...
VVing out here, baby, we ain't doing that. No, sir. No, ma'am.
Can't do it.
Not
Won't
looking like
do it.
this. Not looking like this.
Listen, they didn't hear you. Looking like that will not get you no VVs.
No
VV
VV.
is an acronym or short for voluntary
Value.
No, absolutely not.
Come on.
Listen, let's get into our question of the day.
Yes.
And it is intended to provoke thought. And you cannot answer this question of the day with a one-word answer. Not that you have answered any questions. If your life was a cartoon, what would the theme song and opening credits be? I got another one too. But
So you always ask for the song.
no, because you already used Martin.
Yeah.
That was like, okay, that's kind of similar.
Because I was about to say, if you ask cartoon, I would be like, yo, Samurai Jack, Afro Samurai. Both of those together kind of like just speak to kind of like what's happening in my mind all the time. It's like a fashion karate show, or whatever type thing. But song-wise, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know song-wise.
So if you could turn any song into a different genre, which song and what genre would you choose?
Oh, that's a really cool question. I would take... Oh, my goodness. I would take... oh God, I would take probably, this is off my top of my head, but I'll take it's a Foxy Brown song, Bad Mama Jama or something like that. I would take that song and make it an R&B song. It'd be crazy. Like, it's a Foxy Brown record that she did with Blackstreet back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, or Casey and JoJo, one of the two.
Would you change any one of your songs to a different genre?
Oh, I would make All Go Everything a country song.
On some Shabuzi type.
Yeah, because that's what country music is now, is rap blues, or blues rap. You know, that's really what it is.
It's that Sinners. You seen Sinners?
Yeah, of course, four times.
Wow. It ain't even came out on DVD yet.
Yeah, man, I'm supporting. They did well, man. Like, if you do something Sinners like, also, I'm gonna support it the same way, bro.
For sure, I appreciate
because it's just this. That's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's not. I can't downplay them brothers like that.
So,
and sisters.
As we get into our game, but is there any person that you would want to collaborate with in any commodity? Right, that you're like, yo, I think I will be able to, or we will be able to create some type of flames.
I mean, me and Dave Chappelle would go crazy.
Wow.
We would go crazy.
In what capacity? What you thinking? Is it fashion? Is it music? Is it just creating what though?
Well, I would ask him. I would see if like could we build a school together. I would like to build a theater school with him together, so that you could do comedy, music, entertainment, like something like that. A little mini college.
Yeah, that's dope. Give back is real. So let's get into our game. The game is called This Is My Story, and I'm sticking to it with Cam and Trinidad James.
Hey.
Consider this the trend-setting writer's room. We will talk or we will take turns crafting a story and see where it goes. I will start with a prompt, and then you will add to it.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Last night, I told my driver to stop at Quick Trip.
And as we stopped the Quick Trip, there were two gentlemen that were coming out of the gas station at the same time. One was walking, one was running.
So while the two gentlemen was coming out of Quick Trip, walking and running, one was dressed in boots. The other one didn't have no shoes at all.
And then a young lady who was standing by Nissan, she looked over at the one with no shoes, and she actually had some really cool G-Nikes inside of her trunk and gave it to the guy with no shoes.
So the other girl who said G-Nikes has then said, them ain't G-Nikes, them Air Force Ones, and then they got to squabbling.
And then they stopped squabbling because she got a call because her man was like, "Are you cheating on me? What's all that noise that's happening in the background?"
So when she heard all the noise in the background, she said, listen, if you don't believe me, just watch. Then proceeded to hang up the phone.
Which was really interesting because it made it on the news, and then her uncle saw it, and right after that, he had to turn it to football because it's about 4th and 1. I think the Chargers was playing the Chiefs.
So as 4th and 1, or the scenario of the game was 4th and 1, the uncle slapped the boy upside the head who had the remote control and said, no, turn it to 4th and 1, the YouTube channel.
And when they turned on there, they saw a gentleman. He had hair coming out of the top of his hat. They weren't familiar with his name, but his energy definitely made them stay on that channel for the rest of the night.
You talking about David Chappelle. That was, it all started at Quick Trip, ladies and gentlemen.
It all started at the QT,
You
baby.
dig what I'm saying? Man, last thing that we got going on, man, we have a question for the crew. And it's really an inclusive activity where we ask everybody behind the scenes to give them a more insight to the actual interview. This stemmed from me always doing interviews and then asking for debriefing moments. People always would say, man, you should have asked this. And I was like, well, you should have asked it. So anybody, can ask a question, either myself or you a question. So I will ask this question. Do we have a question from the crew?
Yes. So Trinidad, just questions for you.
Hey.
So you're an artist, you're a fashion icon. I mean, you've done it all. But is there any new project realm or maybe hobby that you haven't gotten into that you want to try?
When I get older, I'm gonna do a jewelry business. I'm gonna do custom jewelry. I got a really nice concept and formula for how I want to do it, but jewelry.
Okay. Okay. That's it for me.
Any more questions from the crew?
You got one for Kim.
Talk to me.
All right. So my question is, what is next for you as an entrepreneur, a host, a brand? Like, what is next for Cam?
That's crazy. I've been in this realm of deep thought. I just recently had a birthday, and I never really had time to kind of really write out what I want next. But something that stuck out as you was talking, and something that I've been thinking is, I want to see everything that I want to do go through the net. Like, I have so many different ideas. I have so many different, things that I want to do. But oftentimes, you mentioned about Will Smith, and he's doing everything. Even you being so tapped into so many different things, the Black Effect. But oftentimes, with that process, we don't always see it through. So what I am doing, I want to make sure that I see it through, whether from content to concepts to even initiatives. And I've been extremely guilty with starting a project and not finishing it, but that's what I mean by, seeing it go through the net. Any more questions from the crew?
Yeah, I got one for Trinidad. Ray Willis here. I got one for you, Trinidad. And you said earlier, I think Kim asked you, what was the edgiest thing you had maybe like worn? Right. But that made me think, as you grow and what you're willing to put on, so is your personality. So I'm curious, like, as you look from like 2012 to where you are now, what's one of the biggest ways you've noticed you've grown through looking at like how you like visually appear?
The glow of my skin, the coming back to my original hairstyle. Like in 2012, I started with the little nappy fro, and seeing, the man that I present to you today. To me, I feel like that full version of the artist that I want to present myself as. So as I look at all the looks and the styles that I've wore, it's practice. I've been practicing. I had to practice in real time because I don't have no past with consumer. I only have the now with consumer. So when I look at everything that I did, it's just like, hey, if this ideas come in my head, I'm gonna do it. Every video that I put out, I probably pretty much had a different hairstyle. Every year I came with at least one hairstyle that went viral. And each time I did it, it just, that man is the same man that's talking to you right now. But I definitely felt like I had to experience what it looks like to challenge image. Because it felt comfortable. Like, when I look back at it, it's like, yeah, I wanted to do that. Like, I have no regrets on none of those looks that I've done because each one is like the way that you see me here today. That same man was stepping 10 toes down then, man. Like it wasn't for validation. It was just me understanding that this is my brand that I'm building. This is who I am. This individuality.
You know the person who I was talking to you about?
Him. Yeah, he got his chest out, I could tell.
Yeah.
Chest out. Chest boys.
Chest plates. Call y'all the areolas.
Wow.
Or the tears.
But hopefully that answers the question, bro. I think that, to sum it up is that when I look at all those looks over the last 13 years, it made it the easiest to what's important? To get back to this, which is ground zero. I think that you'll go through every look under the sun, but the first look that you go viral for, that's the look. That's the blueprint. This is the blueprint. The afro is the blueprint. If I put any other hairstyle on, you're going to call me fucking A$AP Rocky. I don't ever want to be called A$AP Rocky. I don't want to be called Travis Scott. I don't want to be called Offset. These are things I've been called when I don't have my afro. You know what I'm saying? Whenever things line over into somebody else's brand, my brand, that's not me.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Everything that you do that's not you, you're just experimenting. You're trying
It's like me saying, like, I'm Ray Willis.
Yeah, what Ray Willis, the original, that when Ray Willis' name held weight the first time, that's the look. Everything else that Ray Willis did is something he can do. But that's not the look. So when you get locked in on the look, you can go, that's like finding the girl that you're supposed to be with, and then you keep trying all these other girls because, oh, she thick, oh, she light-skinned, oh, she got blue eyes, all these different type of things, or whatever, but you ain't staying with them because that's not the one. That's an experience, or whatever. So it's important to do homework on Ray Willis so you can understand who Ray Willis is, or whatever, so that you can always get to what is the new version of Ray Willis, not the thing that Ray Willis is trying.
Right.
That's all.
Ken, you can have your chest out, bro, just off aura. We ain't gotta hit the gym.
We ain't got to hit the gym, but we gonna hit the gym. Let me tell you something. I'm trying to tell you, bruh. I refuse to be an old joker with a belly. It's the image that you got up on.
Amen.
Come on.
No excuses.
Bellies, to me, I heard this. Your body is a direct reflection of the decisions that you've made.
Oh.
What's up?
What? I'm just saying.
Nah, look.
So for a person, for me, it's like, bro, big, small, big, in fit, not fit. Like I look at it as, all right, cool. some people, that's what they're comfortable with. Cool. Some people who are skinny may think like, you're not. Some people who are in shape, you may look at it and be like, no, bro, like
Come on.
it's augmented. So it's not necessarily about muscles, it's about the thought process of the consistency.
Intention.
So. James.
Yeah. Cam.
Appreciate you, bro.
Come on, man. Like, bro, you got a hell of a platform. You know, the fact that you let a brother like myself come on it and, you know, us have good rapport. I know that there's always going to be somebody to appreciate it. And like I said, I take these serious because these are the things that live on for people to hear who we really are as men.
Man, appreciate that, bro. And as we end things here at Funky Friday, we're going to start with that camera, and then we're going to go to this camera, and then we're going to finish with that camera. When I say all together, we're going to say one love. When I say all together, we're going to say one love. When I say all together, we're going to say what?
One love.
Chest boys in full effect. You dig what I'm saying? So we're going to go one finger, one pinky, one thumb, and then obviously when I say all together, we're going to say one love. You ready, bro?
Yes, sir.
Doing it in unison. We go one finger, one pinky, one thumb. All together?
One love.
Trinidad James, ladies and gentlemen.